The value of an American consultant's contained search. In response to our clients' needs, American Consultants has created a best of both worlds solution, which combines the benefits of both a retained and contingent search. The contained search involves a substantially discounted initial fee. It provides greater exclusivity than a contingent search, but does not obligate you with the high cost of a retained arrangement. The difference between an AC contained search and a contingency search is that your search becomes our priority. We limit the number of contained searches that we do at any time to make sure that you get the attention and commitment that you expect to bring the highest caliber candidate to you for your position. An American Consultant's contained search guarantees a successful search completion. Contingency firms may not always give the same level priority to your search. Contingency firms typically recognize that their clients may not only be using their firm to fill their needs. Additionally, there is no guarantee with that placement, therefore they will often engage other companies for that same employee. Using the many number of job boards that are available out there, they will post the position, talk with an applicant, and share that information, the resume or the conversation, with any clients that might be interested. There are times that they may not do much qualification of the candidates at all. Contingency firms also will engage additional clients with that same understanding in hopes that one of them will hire the candidate that they are working with. The success rate obviously is much lower than when you're talking about a contained search. When you're talking about a retained search, most retained firms will require you to pay a fee of anywhere between 30 and 35% of the employee's annual salary. Most of the time that involves a third of it up front, a third at 30 days, regardless of whether you have any candidates to look at, and the final third at 90 days, again, regardless of whether you have candidates to interview or if you've made an offer. Another expense associated with retained searches is that they will often require the client to reimburse the search firm's expenses, which can add up easily into the thousands. American Consultants' contained search placement fee is not the 30 to 35 that you might see with most retained firms, but it's 20% of the first year's annual salary. The payment terms are contingent. There's a fifth due up front as a refundable retainer. The refund is involved only if candidates have not been presented to you within 90 days of the engagement. The second fifth is due upon presentation of qualified candidates for you to review, and then the balance is due once you have made an offer and it has been accepted by a candidate that American Consultants has provided to you. Some of the benefits of a contained search is that it will oftentimes attract high caliber candidates because they know they are being worked with exclusively, and they know that the hiring company is very committed to this search. Oftentimes, recruiters are able to find hidden candidates, which are those that are employed and may not be actively pursuing another career, but they're open to hearing about other opportunities. American Consultants has healthcare and HIT recruiters that are proactively communicating with passive candidates at all times. Candidates oftentimes have a better comfort level whenever they're being recruited by a third-party recruiter rather than the hiring company directly. And knowing that it is a contained search, again, builds in that level of commitment versus a contingency firm recruiter. American Consultants' contained searches are performed with a high level of confidentiality, which is aimed at both protecting the candidate but also the hiring company. For the contained search, another benefit is that American Consultants takes the time to get to know you, our clients. Many times we will visit on site. We have a series of phone calls and other meetings to learn more about the culture and personality of your company to again help you find a long-term employee for your position. We become an extension of your recruiting staff, and therefore we conduct ourselves in a manner that represents your company. American Consultants presents only screened candidates. Whenever you see a candidate for your position, you can know that we have already completed references, their background checks, we verified their credentials and licenses, and we've also asked them to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Contingency firms will more than likely complete those same types of checks after an offer has been extended because of the time and cost involved. Switching to retained searches, most of the times they will have a guarantee that is twofold. They guarantee that they will place someone with you, or they will do an additional search in the future free of charge. The other part of that is that after a candidate starts, they guarantee that they will stay with your company for 90 days, or they will offer a replacement in the future at no additional cost. With a contained search, there's a higher perception of the position. An AC contained search shows potential candidates the critical importance that you place on the role that they might want to interview for within your organization, and that's represented because you are working hand in hand with a contained firm such as American Consultants. It also gives you a greater control over the process, where you are working with a dedicated representative for your position, and you can talk with us about the quantity and the quality of prospects that we present for you to consider. We gain a more broad knowledge for your benefit. We take the time that we need to understand your corporate culture, the values, and the specific requirements of the position. That allows us to become deeply committed to your needs. We invest more deeply in the process of finding the ideal candidate for you and your organization. This allows for a stronger partnership to be built for the future. When American Consultants completes a contained search for you, we are committed to helping you build a team for the future instead of simply filling today's openings. It also allows for a shorter search cycle. We know more up front because we've spent that time with you, and that allows us to better recruit for you. The information, the flexibility that you've given us will help us find the best candidates in the most efficient way possible. An AC contained search will also allow us to combine our resources with yours, therefore setting up a mutual commitment to find the best people that suit your needs, which results in more consistent outcomes. Speaking of the American Consultants contained search specifically, our replacement guarantee is 180 days, not the typical 90. If we've not presented at least one qualified candidate to you within 90 days, we will honor your request for a full refund of the retainer that you've paid. We only require that 1/5 of the fee is due upon engagement, not the typical 1/3 of the fee that you might find with most retained searches. The total fee is 20% of the annualized salary, not the typical 30 to 35 that you might see. And the second installment of the retainer, again 1/5 of the fee, it is due when we have supplied viable candidates to you for the position, not the typical due date of 30 days after the search begins. And an additional benefit of the AC contained search is that we do not invoice you for any of our expenses associated with the search. We incur those costs ourselves. Here we've created a comparison chart for you that you can kind of compare side by side. Again, you'll see the total fee is 20%, 100% refund if there are no candidates presented within 90 days. And you can compare the 1/5 of the engagement fee due at the time of the search versus the 1/3 when you're talking about a retained search. The guarantee is double what you would expect from a retained search firm. and the balance is due when the search is successful, meaning we presented candidates, you have interviewed, we have vetted them for you, and you've made your selection and they have accepted the position. That's when the balance is due. And the final point, which is us not requiring to be reimbursed for search expenses, which again can get into the thousands of dollars easily with a retained search. To take the next step, you can visit us at www.thehealthcarepeople.com, and you are also welcome to call any of our contained search specialists at 1-866-319-6795.